We are working with the provincial government of Aklan, specifically on the office called the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. Okay? In case you don't know where is Aklan, so Aklan is located in Region 6, that's in the Visayas. Specifically in the island of Panay. We are one of the 4 provinces in the island, and Boracay Island is in our province. So if you want to visit Boracay, you can go at your own expense. Just to make you laugh. It's holy hour, you know. So, as far as disaster risk reduction is concerned, with the passage of Republic Act 10121, otherwise known as the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, this law replaced the old law during the martial law in 1970s, where the new law directs or mandates all Philippine agencies and local government units to deal more on disaster risks. Because before, we used to call the groups at the provincial and municipal level as the Provincial or Municipal Disaster Coordinating Council. So it just coordinate activities during disasters. So, in other words, before, we used to be just reactive. We know that, example, a tropical cyclone is coming, so we are doing very minimal or nothing at all, and then after the storm has passed, then we will go out and clean our surroundings, do some rehabilitation works, and distribution of relief goods. That was things of the past. But because of the new law, so we have to deal more on disaster risk. So in other words, we must be proactive as far as emergencies, as far as hazards, or as far as disasters are concerned. So with this new law, we are mandated to work along the 4 thematic areas of disaster risk reduction. These are disaster preparedness, disaster prevention and mitigation, disaster response, and disaster rehabilitation and recovery. Okay, the first slide, please. Okay, so you can see some pictures there, and those the planning, preparedness, response, and recovery more or less represents already the 4 thematic areas. In the planning, first slide. Okay. So planning actually can be included already in the prevention and mitigation, and even in disaster preparedness. Because the 4 thematic areas of disaster risk reduction are interrelated. They cannot be separated. They cannot be treated, separate from each other. Okay? So, as far as disaster planning is concerned, so we are mandated to formulate plans at the local government units, at the provincial or municipal, or even in the barangay or village level. So, in our case, in the provincial government, so our boss as the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office is the council, the Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, which is composed of the different departments of the provincial government, with additional members from national government, including the Philippine National Police, the Bureau of Fire, the Philippine Army, the Red Cross, and civil society organizations. Okay, so they formulate the plan, and we at the office is the implementing arm. We shall execute the plans that has been formulated at the council level. And that plan will serve as our Bible in implementing DRR activities in the provincial level. And also we assist at the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council and offices to formulate their own plans, because again, it is a mandate. By the way, we have 17 municipalities or towns in the province of Aklan. So our scope of operation is the whole province of Aklan, or the 17 towns. Okay. And the plans should be aligned. Again, it's a mandate. The plans that shall be formulated at the lower level, which is based on the felt need, which is based on the situational analysis, should be aligned with that of the municipal, and the municipal plan should be aligned with the provincial should be aligned with the regional, and the regional should be aligned with the national. So that we will be singing all in one tune during disasters. We must have a common understanding of everything along disaster risk reduction. Along disaster preparedness, well, if we speak of disaster preparedness, so that is more or less equal to capacity building. We need to give trainings, to conduct trainings based on felt needs of the beneficiaries, especially our staff, our volunteers, at the accredited disaster volunteers at the provincial level, and that also of the municipal level. Also included in disaster preparedness is the generation of life-saving rescue equipment. We have to, capacitate ourselves. We need to prepare. We need to improve our response capability, and that is part of disaster preparedness. Also in preparedness, we need to establish a disaster resilient infrastructures. We have to integrate the concept of disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation to our different PPAs, or what we call programs, projects, and activities, and even budgets at all levels. We need to establish our disaster resilient evacuation centers, okay, and government infrastructures like the roads, the bridges, and all other public infrastructures. Also in preparedness, we need to conduct vulnerability and capacity assessment. And we have conducted this with our 3 able volunteers from Loren Stockbridge, Marco Hoffman, who just left us last month, and of course with Alistair. We also need to conduct hazard mapping, because hazard mapping plays an important role in formulating plans. Okay? And the third is the response. If you notice, response coordination when more than 2 municipalities are at risk or affected. Because again, that's the mandate, that we can take over at the provincial level if 2 or more municipalities are affected with a particular hazard or disasters. So that's automatic. But if only 1 municipality is affected, then the role of the province is just to support that affected municipality. Okay? And also during response, and if 2 or more municipalities are affected, then we need to activate our incident command system. This is very similar to your Australian interagency incident management system. Okay? Because in incident command system, then we can deal systematically and efficiently in addressing that particular hazard. because we have the operation section chief, which will execute all the plans of the incident management team. We have the planning team, we have the logistic team, and the admin and finance team under the incident command system. Also in the response, we need to deploy our responders, our emergency responders. So that will depend on the kind of hazard or disaster we are facing. So if that's flooding, then our WASAR, our rescuers for water will be deployed. We also need to, along response, we need to conduct, just after the disaster, we need to conduct the post-disaster needs assessment, or the PDNA, or the DANA, the damage assessment and needs analysis of affected areas. And then for recovery, that will also include planning. And in recovery and rehabilitation, the activities will be reconstruction of damaged infrastructures, especially government infrastructures, and then livelihood assistance to affected communities. That can be in the form of planting materials for our farmers, or fishing gears for our fishermen. And also in the recovery and rehabilitation is the housing and resettlement of vulnerable communities. So, next slide please. Okay. In Aklan, just like other provinces in the Philippines, because Philippines is considered to be one of the most vulnerable country in Asia as far as disaster is concerned. In the Philippines, we have an average of 20 tropical cyclones every year, and more or less, out of 25 of that will be devastating. Okay, so just like Yolanda in November 2013, or Yolanda, you know Yolanda? What's the family name of Yolanda? Sehaya. Well, anyway, in the province of Aklan, our perennial problem, whether there is a tropical cyclone or not, our perennial problem is flooding. Just a mere southwest monsoon, we will experience flooding. So that's why the provincial government of Aklan, through our office, invested more on ALFUS. What is ALFUS? That's Aklan Local Flood Early Warning System. Because no one can stop flooding. Even the President of the Philippines cannot stop flooding. Even our legislator, even though how many thousands or millions of resolutions and ordinances, they cannot stop flooding. And flooding, if it kills people, we cannot sue flood in court. Okay? So that's why we invested more on early warning. So that's Aklan Local Flood Early Warning System. Okay, so and this is in this area where the 3 volunteers from AVID really helped us a lot. So they assisted us with the planning stage, and then the preparedness and the lead times. The lead times will be because we have one major river in Aklan, we call that Aklan River, and surrounding that river are more or less 8 or 9 municipalities. So if there are flooding in the upstreams, then we need to establish the lead times when that flood in the upstream will reach the low-lying areas, and how deep is your lap, or how deep is that kind of flood. And then we also conducted ALFUS or ALFUS community flood drills. So we need to prepare our community, our people vulnerable to flooding, about these drills, no? And then, of course, we need to capacitate ourselves and the community itself as far as response and rescue is concerned. Next slide please. Si Boots kasi, meron siyang ganon. 5 minutes na lang. No? Okay, so these are the people actually involved. If you notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are only 6 in our office. We are only 6 in the office. That's myself at the top level. Jeffrey is the counterpart of Alistair. At the same time, he is also the president of this group. This is the SEALs Rescue Aklan group, which is the one of the finalists in the national level in Gawad Kalasan. This is our disaster shield program of the Office of Civil Defense. So we have Grace for admin, also Taidito, our youngest in the office. For our research and planning, and also this is one of the admin staff. And if you notice, the chaos creator, this is our 24-hour duty security guard. And his name is Sergeant Ange, because we need to have his name for immunization. And his nickname is Ngilet because he always does like that. Because of injury when he was still at the puppy stage. He was struck by a tricycle. So anyway, those are the people, and with the addition of the 3 volunteers. Next slide please. 1 minute na lang. Okay, so we have 3 volunteers. The first was Loren Stockbridge. Okay, and he helped us a lot in starting actually in cascading the concept of local flood early warning system at the municipal level. And also he more or less oriented us about AIMS, the Australian Interagency Incident Management System. Marco, on the other hand, just continued the work that Lauren started, and he, as far as Alpheus is concerned, so Marco assisted us in the conduct and preparation of the different forms used in the vulnerability and capacity assessment, and data and surveying. Marco was also expert in, and he gave us inputs on map reading and navigation, because we really need that during rescue operation, especially in remote areas. And Alistair Debage, of course, is best in swift water rescue. So he has given our staff and the volunteers and even people from the Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office of Safety, no, during rescue operation, and especially in water. So I think that will be it. And one more thing, the positive impact that we have noted with the volunteers is the systematic approach. Now, in the Philippines, the 6 of us, we usually do we call that the widow system. Widow lang. Widow lang. In other words, it's not really that scientific or systematic, but with the assistance of the 3 volunteers, we are able to document it step by step. And then, as far as LQs is concerned, we have established data for forecasting of flooding to low-lying areas, using automated water level sensors and rain gauges, and and also manual gauges, and also development of office protocol and SOPs. What we value most about having them is they are hardworking people. They have that's why we have accomplished a lot, and of course fun. We have much fun with them. We bring them to fiestas for free lunch, okay, and so that we can also they can also observe our culture, right? How do we celebrate, especially during April and May? There's a lot of fiestas. Almost every day there will be free lunch, okay, and of course the new skills and knowledge.